Hello YouTube, how are you doing? My name is Chris. My channel is called The Body Wish. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good holiday season. You got a chance to connect with friends, family, co-workers, all the above, maybe none of the above. If you decided to go hermit and lay low and collect your thoughts and hear yourself think again, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It's actually nice to have some downtime during the holidays. However you spent it, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Tonight I want to talk to you about a problem that is affecting 80% of the population, and that is excessive weight gain and the inability to not just lose it, but keep the weight off long term. And it's the latter that actually is a big problem for so many people. So if you are somebody who is considering dieting, or maybe you've done diets, you've been around the block with diets, or perhaps you're doing the new popular thing, which is the GLP-1 medicated weight loss, this is a presentation you have to watch. I want to dive specifically into this problem that is affecting 80% of the population here in the US, and that is excessive weight gain. 80% of the population now is overweight. Half of that group is diabetic, or pre-diabetic, sorry. The other half is obese. Now, with all these different solutions out there, there's hundreds of diets. There's GLP-1 medicated weight loss. The problem is actually not improving, it's getting worse. And that's because there's something that is not working. And that's what I want to talk with you tonight about, the part that's not working. So in order for us to understand what's not working, we got to take a good hard look at what calorie restriction is actually doing to the body. Both of these methods, both diets and GLP, rely on this obsolete science of counting calories. Now in GLP land, they don't call it calorie restriction, they call it appetite suppression. But once I dive into this, you're going to see it's based on the same premise. So what exactly is counting calories? Well, it's the #1 method that people reach to when they want to lose weight. And on paper, it makes sense, right? If you're overweight, you're eating too much, it makes sense to dial back the amount of food you're eating. And there's no disputing you'll lose weight. Anybody can lose weight by going into a calorie deficit. You can lose weight on a Coca-Cola diet. You can lose weight on a Domino's pizza diet. Nobody's disputing that. You will lose weight. The problem is you're doing something to your metabolism, which is slowing it down. That's what calorie counting does. Now, there's a little bit of irony to this. Hey, Junior, thanks for joining. There's a little bit of irony to this whole premise of counting calories. All right, first of all, the body does not even know what a calorie is. The only reason why people count calories is because somebody told you to. There is no medical proof out there that shows counting calories is going to give you the sustained long-term results of not only reaching your weight loss goals, but maintaining them. Because the outcome of every single calorie counting method out there is the loss of lean muscle. So back up, hold on, what the heck is this guy talking about? When you cut back on calories, which I want you to understand is you're cutting back on nutrition. And the body only understands nutrition. It doesn't know what a calorie is. It understands nutrition because nutrition is fuel. So whenever you see calorie restriction, counting calories, you can only lose weight by going into a calorie deficit, I want you to replace those words with less nutrition. Now, what happens when you cut back on nutrition is your body starts looking for other sources of energy. And two of the places that it goes to is fat, we know that, but it also burns lean muscle. This is what a lot of people don't understand. What happens when you start burning lean muscle? Your metabolism slows down. What the hell, says Junior? It's true, Junior. Look up Harvard University, Stop Counting Calories. One of the things you guys should know right off the bat, I should have said this at the beginning of the call, I do not promote bro science. There's way too much bro science on these different platforms. I share clinical science, science that's been published in medical journals. I'm not here because I like the sound of my voice. I don't make anecdotal marketing claims. I just share the information, the scientific research with people. So, again, counting calories, caloric restriction, this is about cutting back on fuel. And it causes your body to start burning off lean muscle as well as fat. That's why these are all called weight loss solutions. They're not called fat loss because you're not just burning off fat, you're burning off vital lean muscle. That's going to slow your metabolism down. Your metabolism is all of the processes that the body undergoes when it's converting food into energy. Well, when you slow that down, guess what else takes a dive? Fat burning efficiency. That's right, it's harder and harder for the body to burn fat when your metabolism is slow. That's why so many people who do a diet or they do GLP-1, they have some success in the beginning. They get all fired up for it. And good for you for taking that first step because you've recognized you need to change course. But know up front, you're working with something that has limitations to it. And oftentimes what happens, and I've seen this over and over again, is people get results, then they hit a plateau, and then they start going backwards. And they start putting the weight back on, and they're going to the gym, they're working out, they're hitting the cardio, they're hitting the weights, but they can't seem to get past that plateau. Most likely, it's because the metabolism is slowed down. And so you start going in the opposite direction. So diets are doing something to us, they're not doing something for us. All right, so I just went into the doom and gloom report, but it's educational, this is how we learn. So what's the alternative? Well, I would like to take the next couple of minutes and share a holistic nutritional system that has 7 clinical studies that have been published in the top medical journals to not only burn fat, but to increase lean muscle. So this is not a diet, there's no calorie counting. It lowers stress and it detoxifies the body at the cellular level. So the system that I'm talking about is called a 30-day reset. If you guys go to my profile here, I have a link to a website. It's called thebodywish.wordpress.com. I've got a lot of information on there about this system. So the original premise of this system, when it was just in the formulation stage, was to lower the amount of food, but not lower the amount of nutrition. So this is not a diet. There's no mental gymnastics involved with counting calories. I mean, counting calories is obsolete. For you people who just joined, no, I never saw Brokeback Mountain. For you people who just joined, look up Harvard University Stop Counting Calories. That's just one study out there that suggests we got to rethink our whole approach to not just losing weight, but maintaining those weight loss goals over a long time. So, and that's where diets and, any method of calorie restriction is going to fail ultimately, because they're all based on that idea of dialing back the amount of nutrition you're giving your body. Anyway, back to this 30-day system that I was starting to talk about. So the system addresses what I call the 3 culprits that contribute to poor health and excessive weight gain. And those 3 culprits are nutritional deficiency, toxicity, and stress. So let's go and take a deeper dive into each one of these. Nutritional deficiency is unfortunately a product of the food industry these days. A lot of the foods that we rely on in the supermarkets, they don't have the nutrients in the abundance that we need. And you probably have to go back about 70 years to a time when the foods were much more nutritionally abundant. So this is why when you don't have all the nutrients, your body does not do as well a job of rebuilding itself. So let's talk about the second culprit, toxicity. Now, toxicity is something that's not on a lot of people's radar. It wasn't on mine until a couple of years ago. The reality is the environment has gotten steadily more polluted over the decades. So there's a lot more contaminants in the air, in the water. They are most definitely in our foods. A lot of our foods have pesticides. Why are we eating foods with pesticides in it? GMOs. GMOs have been shown to cause a whole host of health problems. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's dioxins, there's PCBs, there's a lot of junk that ends up overloading the body. This is why so many people have brain fog, poor sleep habits, increased rates of depression. The body can't rebuild, the immune system is getting bombarded. When we can't eliminate those toxins, guess where they sit? They get stored right down here in our fat cells, in the visceral fat. That's the fat that surrounds the major organs. Call me crazy, but I don't want toxins hanging out there. The third culprit in this equation is stress. Stress is present in all of our lives. If we don't learn to manage stress, our stress manages us. So let me go back now to this 30-day system I was starting to drive at a few minutes ago. This 30-day reset helps to address all three of those culprits: nutritional deficiency, toxicity, and stress. I got some products here I just want to showcase for you. Now, I tried this system out about 4 years ago. I wasn't having weight issues, but I had a period of over 25 years where I was dealing with constant fatigue. CFS, chronic fatigue is what it's known as. In the last 5 years of those 25 years, I became exercise intolerant. I sold my rowing machine, my kettlebell, I rolled up my yoga mat. I couldn't do 15 minutes of stretching because the next day I would go into a tailspin. Toxicity, nutritional deficiency, stress, all of those contributed to a poor health in my case. So I learned about this 30-day reset. And what I want to show you here is, this is, I don't know how well you guys can see it here on the screen. This is a superfood nutritionally dense protein shake. Comes in whey or plant-based. This is not anything you're going to find in the supermarkets. No, marijuana is not bad for the body, at least according to the reports I've read. But that's a great question. It's actually a good sleep remedy. This protein shake is loaded with all 90 key nutrients. That's what makes it past the legal requirements to be a meal replacement. It's got 8 grams of fiber. It comes in either 24 or 36 grams of protein. This is high quality protein. This has been clinically tested at the University of Chicago, Arizona State, and Skidmore College in upstate New York. It adds more lean muscle. It's got digestive enzymes to improve gut health. In the studies, there was a 25% increase in gut health improvement. It helps to lower the food cravings. I want to talk a minute just about food cravings. I'm going to set this down. Food cravings are your body telling you it needs nutrients. Now, if you're somebody who's living with food noise, you're constantly obsessed with food, it's the body saying, knock, 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 I need nutrients. But we unknowingly are not nourishing our body, and it's not your fault. We're dealing with a food industry that's got a lot of nutritionally bankrupt foods in it. That's why our bodies can't rebuild. How do we know this is affecting us? All you got to do is look at the statistics. More people now than ever before are plagued with poor sleep habits, increased rates of depression, more allergies than ever before, increased levels of disease. More people have disease, diabetes. It's like it's dropping out of the sky. What's happening is the conditions for illness is being manifested because we're not getting the nutrients. We're not getting rid of the toxins. And I hate to say it, a lot of this is deliberate. So education is your best friend. What kind of education I'm talking about? I prefer to look at things that have clinical research, not some guy on social media who's saying, drink this coffee and you lose 2 pounds overnight. That's baloney. All right, that's anecdotal marketing. That's not the same thing as getting products clinically tested at a top university. At a university, the studies are going to be unbiased. Okay, that means the company can't influence. So everything I'm going to share with you tonight in terms of the claims on the improvements to all 5 health markers are based on clinical research. I'm not saying this because I like the sound of my voice. So again, nutritional deficiency, right here, this is going to help make up for the nutrients that sadly are no longer abundant in our store-bought foods. So what you do on this 30-day system is you replace 2 of your regular meals with these nutritionally dense shakes. These alkalize the body, very important to alkalize the body because a lot of diseases will manifest in acidic conditions. This builds lean muscle. It's got 8 grams of fiber. It's going to keep you satiated. It's going to help to quiet the food noise because you're nourishing the body. The second part of the equation I talked about was stress. Okay, so nutritional deficiency, stress. This is what works really well for alleviating stress. Again, sorry about the lighting. It's nighttime here and the lighting is not great. But this product is loaded with adaptogens. And adaptogens, if you're not familiar with, they're different types of herbs that grow in extreme climate, usually like in cold tundra when nothing else will grow. Adaptogens seem to do just fine. Schisandra, eleuthero root, and many others. And what adaptogens do is they help to bring us to homeostasis. Homeostasis is a sense of feeling grounded again. So in other words, if you're stressed out, who isn't? People have stress in their lives. Adaptogens are going to help to take the edge off, help to calm you down. If you're low energy, adaptogens have been shown to improve mental clarity, improve physical performance. Okay, so stress management. The third culprit, as I like to call it, is toxicity. So just to reiterate, there's a lot of toxicity in our environment. There's a lot of toxins in our food. There's pesticides in our foods. There's dioxins, PCBs. These are terrible. Artificial sweeteners and flavors. Why is this stuff in our food? Because it's making somebody else money at our expense. So this is a product that has 16 detoxifying botanicals. Again, all clinically tested. You guys don't have to take my word for it. All right, clinical studies have shown that we call this the eraser of inflammation. This removes a lot of dangerous chemicals, things like forever chemicals, dioxins, PCBs, pesticides. This has been clinically proven to get rid of those awful toxins that we're carrying around in our visceral fat cells. It helps us to eliminate them. So we do this 4 times a month. So let's say Monday through Saturday, we're going to flood our body with the vital nutrients that we're not getting from our store-bought foods. So you take 2 of these a day. You replace 2 meals with the superfood shakes. Let's say on Sunday, we do our day of intermittent fasting to get rid of those awful toxins. Okay? And then we're going to take this adaptogen product every single day for 30 days. That's going to help to get our stress level down. It's going to improve your sleep. It's going to improve your outlook. Because when you start to feel better, everything starts to change for the better. And you're talking to somebody who for over 25 years, I was dealing with severe chronic fatigue. I was constantly tired. And I tried, I worked with a naturopath, I struck out. I worked with a nutritionist, I struck out. I hired a dietitian, I struck out. I lived with a chef for 10 years. I know how to cook healthy foods. Chefs get a lot of training in nutrition. I was eating as well as I understood. That made no dent in the fatigue disorder I was dealing with. I tried the system out 4 years ago. A friend of mine highly recommended it to me, and I thought, I'll try it out. I wasn't even thinking that this could be the solution I'd been looking for so long. I tried it out out of curiosity, and a week into it, after I loaded up on the shakes and I did the intermittent fasting, so after 7 days, the next day, 5 years of brain fog cleared up. I got some of the most relaxing sleep I had in ages. I had to pinch myself. Like I forgot what it's like to feel normal again. After I got on this for a couple of months, I started to work my way back into exercising again. And I didn't get that backlash. I didn't go into a tailspin the final day. So what I learned from all of this is when you give your body high quality nutrition, it does a better job of rebuilding itself. That's it. Unfortunately, I wish I could say, let's just, get our foods from the supermarket. For some people, it'll work. For others, not so much. So, like I said, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Let me see if I can answer some questions here now. Peter's asking me what's in it. What specifically, Peter? The shakes or the adaptogens or... Yeah, hit me up and I'll answer your question. Mike's saying good because I got done smoking a joint. Excellent, Mike. And you will sleep good. Yeah, sometimes I use it myself if I can't fall asleep at night. Well, I don't have trouble falling asleep. I have trouble falling back. I think that's the problem. So if I lay in bed for 30 minutes, yes, I'll smoke a little bit and it always puts me out and I get a really restful night of sleep. So, yes, I think marijuana has its medicinal benefits despite, I know it's controversial, God knows why, it's just a plant. So anyway, I'm a big proponent of turning to nature before turning to medication. Nothing against medicine. I have a family member who's a retired nurse. We need our doctors, we need our nurses, but sometimes nature is the answer, and I feel nature is the first thing to turn to before we start loading up on medications. Most of us know it's mostly for profit. The body does a wonderful job of rebuilding itself. We just got to learn how to give it the right nutrients. The body's the miracle. So, Peter, if you're still here, hit me up with that question because I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. It's getting late here, and Yeah, I've been kind of going all day. So yeah, if I can answer any questions, you guys can reach out to me here. My channel's called The Body Wish. If you go to my profile, you can find the link. It's called thebodywish.wordpress.com. You can go look at the website, go up to the product menu, click nutritional system. It's going to cover everything I've shared with you and then some on this 30-day reset. There's a 3-minute video on there that goes into a little bit of the science, nothing too deep. You don't have to be a naturopath. It's a wonderful system. It makes all diets obsolete. All right, there's no counting calories. I mean, just on a side note, I was in a health and wellness group almost a year ago. It was formerly Weight Watchers. And what I was telling you earlier about counting calories, that's what these people were doing. And guess what? They were going up and down. They were losing weight, putting it back on, losing weight, putting it back on. They just got stuck in this, I call it the diet binge cycle, because they diet for a while, then they get frustrated, then they would binge, then they would beat themselves up, then they would binge, beat themselves up, then they go back and start it all over again. And one time I even said in this group, I said, you know, the only reason why you guys need a support group, I said, is because what you're using isn't sustainable. I said, these products here that I use, this 30-day system, we don't have support groups. It works. We don't need support groups. We got a system that works. So anyway, you guys are more than welcome to reach out to me. I hope you did have a good holiday. I'm going to wrap it up here and roll credits. Let me know if there's any way I can help you. If not you, maybe you know somebody who's been struggling with excessive weight gain. Maybe they've been around the block more than once with diets or GLP-1 now. Again, nothing against, you know, if you want to use GLP-1, it's not something I would ever recommend. It's chemicals. All right, GLP-1 can be stimulated naturally. God, yerba mate will help you to produce more. Education is your best friend. That's one thing I've learned. And I'm always into sharing things that if I got such good results with it, I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to share it with the rest of you. So it's been an honor to be here, and we'll talk soon. I'm going to do this more regularly. So you guys enjoy. Ciao for now.